going to introduce myself to the camera from a formal standpoint so that I can offer it to other people as well. So bear with the introduction, and then I'm going to get right into asking you to do some things and talk about this. Hi, it's Paul Knickerberger with Be Your Best Academy, where champions commit, inspire to share, sweat, and smile. What I'd like to discuss with you today, guys, is the key areas to master for pitchers. So I'm going to throw it out to you. What are some important things for you to consider in regards to the ball? As a pitcher, I must try to get the hitter out so that my defense goes to work or that I strike people out. But I got to get hitters out. In order to get hitters out, I have to master these 5 things, I think. So let's talk about what you think these 5 things are. We'll list the 5 things, and then we'll discuss in detail those 5 things. And I'm going to ask you another important question. So, someone, give me an area where you have to master to get hitters out. What must you as a pitcher do?
Command.
Some people call that location. We will call it command. What is the difference between location and command?
Location's the spot, command is where you want to put the ball, like where you're planning to put the ball.
Pretty close. Yeah, I think you got the right idea.
Like command is being able to hit the spot.
Okay.
Location is throwing a strike, and command is
Okay, I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but location is throwing a strike. Command is throwing a better pitch where you want it in the strike zone. So if I can locate, I can throw a strike. That's pretty important. But you've got to have command. I've got to be able to throw up and in, down and in, down and away, all that stuff. So what you were saying, Zach, is I think is what you meant. Command, throw it where you want to throw it versus just throwing it for a strike. Okay, what else is important? Is that all you have to do as a pitcher?
Work quick.
Work quick. I like that. Remind me to get back to working quick. Remind me to get back. That's your responsibility to get back. That's not one of the ones that I've included. But yes, I totally agree with that. Why quick? Well, we'll get back to that.
Keeping the hitter off balance.
Keeping the hitter off balance. Very good. Well, we're going to do that with the 5 things that we're going to talk about. Yes, hitting is about timing and rhythm, and pitching is trying to disrupt that timing and rhythm.
Changing your speeds.
Great one. Change of speed, some people call that pace. That's 2. What else?
Composure.
Composure. Yes, you must have composure. I would agree with that. That's one of those other ones. Composure, yes.
Throwing a good mix of different pitches.
Different pitches. Yeah, that would be good. How about velocity? Velocity. What else can you think of? How about pitch selection? What type of pitch you throw? One more.
Like movement.
Perfect. There you have it. 5 things, 5 basic things, in addition to all the things that you said. Movement. Okay, let's start with location command. We kind of talked about that. It's not throwing a strike is okay. It's good. It's necessary, essential, but you have to learn to throw within that strike zone to where you want to throw it. You must have command. When a catcher places his glove there, the size of a quarter is what you should be aiming for in terms of your fine focus and detail. Keep your eyes on the target would be my recommendation to throw with accuracy and control and command. Versus down, up, and then pick up. Some people do it very successfully. But I like to keep my eyes on the target because I get better depth perception as a pitcher. So I have found that when I keep my eyes on a target, specifically in detail, keeping command in mind, I can throw more accurately. So you need to practice that and train that. So location, command, important. Change of speed and pace. We talked a little bit about that. You must master a changeup in our program. The great pitchers have a changeup. A hitter, he's on the fastball. You throw him a changeup. He still hits the ball. You don't strike him out, but he's now rolling over on the pitch and hitting a weak ground ball to short third. You've done your job. You've disrupted his timing such that you get a weak to hit ground ball instead of a gapper. So, change of speeds, change of pace, not being predictable, critical. You will have a lot of fun with your hitters if you learn to do these things. Promise. Velocity. One thing about velocity, it's overrated many times, but I will also say that you don't get invited to the dance unless you throw hard. In today's world, the Jamie Moores of the world, the Glavins of the world, if they went to an exposure camp, they wouldn't get an opportunity to pitch at the big league level because they don't show the velocities that now scouts and pro guys are looking at. They're looking at 90 plus. So guys are starting to throw 90 plus, but they don't have command of their pitches. So I think velocity is important. The harder you throw, the more you can get away with a mistake. That's true. If I can throw the ball 95 miles per hour and I throw it right down the middle, I can still get a lot of hitters out because they just haven't seen that enough. If I throw 85 or 88 and I throw the ball down the middle, I'm going to get hit and lit up like a Christmas tree. Okay, so velocity is important. It's something that we should always strive to do. Pitch selection. What type of pitch you throw, I think, is important. How you mix it up. Master at least 2 pitches that you can throw with command. And if you have a third pitch, wonderful. Getting 5 pitches, I think you're diluting it. I don't think you have enough time right now to train 5 pitches where you have tremendous command. So work on 2 pitches you can command. Can you throw it on a full count in a critical pressure situation? If the answer to that question is yes, then that's a wonderful pitch. You've got mastery. If you don't feel confident throwing that pitch, then you don't really have mastery or command. I get guys saying, I can throw a knuckle curve, a knuckle drop, all these different kinds of pitches, but they can only throw it 40%, 50% of the time in the bullpen. No, you must throw it 60, 70% of the time in the bullpen to even think about throwing it in a game. Master your pitches. Movement. All of you have hit. I'll be able to catch up on a fastball that's thrown with good velocity. I'll look at it, I'll check it out, 1 at bat, 2 at bats, I'll eventually figure it out in terms of timing. But when you can throw with velocity and you can create movement, especially arm side movement, lights out. Lights out. Mariano Rivera. He has been a master closer with the New York Yankees, as you know. He's been doing it for so many years. Every hitter in the world knows what's coming. Knows that he has an excellent cutter. He developed a sinker, and he throws what, 93, 2? He gets people out. He gets more broken bats than any other pitcher I know of. How's he getting away with that? How does he get away with that? The question is, I'm throwing it out to you guys. How does he get away with that?
Movement.
He gets great movement, but yes, for sure.
His off speed, his cutter.
Yes. I think how he gets it is because of deceptiveness. He throws the 2 different pitches, the sinker, arm side, and the cutter away, and the fastball with the same body language and the same arm slot. With effortless, the calm before the storm. Effortless, and then he gets on you. How does he do that when hitters know that he's got a nasty, he used to have just a nasty cutter? It seems to break late. It's called deception. Deception because you don't know what pitch is coming. And most importantly, the real reason why he gets hitters out is because of command. Make sense? Okay. Getting back to the location and command. And getting back to the change of speed and pace. How are those related? What's the connection there? How can they be related? Can I change pace or speed as perceived by the hitter by where I throw the ball? Effective velocity? Does that ring a bell? Remember this. You've got to be aggressive on both sides of the plate, inside and outside. I add 5 and I subtract 5. If I throw up and in close to the hands, I'm adding 5 miles per hour as perceived by the hitter, even though it's registered by the radar gun at the same speed. If I throw 85 miles per hour down the middle, registered by the gun, but I happen to throw it up and in, to the hitter it looks like it's 90 miles per hour. I throw that same pitch at 85 miles per hour, registered by the gun, but I happen to throw it low and away, to the hitter it's perceived as 80 miles per hour. What is the spread with a registered 85, the spread from up and in to down and away? What is the spread?
90 up and in and 80 going away.
So what's the difference? 10 miles per hour, 90 and 80. Anything more than 6, the hitter will not be consistently on time. Voila, wow. That's important stuff. Anything more of a spread than 6 miles per hour, the hitter will not be consistently on time. And that's one of our responsibilities and jobs as a pitcher, is to make sure that they're not on time. So, that's an important concept. The other important concept is how I sequence my pitches. What do I throw next? I throw an 85 mile per hour down the middle. I throw a cutter up and in. Let's say I throw my cutter at 78. I throw a cutter at 78. So I throw my cutter at 78. I happen to throw the cutter up and in. So what does that perceive to the hitter in terms of miles per hour? 83. 78 plus 5 is 83. So I throw my 85 mile per hour fastball right down the middle. My following pitch is now a cutter that I registered by the gun at 78, but to the hitter it looks like it's 83. What is the spread with a slider cutter up and in and a fastball down Broadway? What's the spread? 2 miles per hour difference. Very, very hittable pitch. What happens if I throw that fastball 85 miles per hour, and now I throw the cutter at 78 by the gun, but I happen to throw it down and away from the hands? To the hitter, that 78 registered slider looks like what? 73. So what is the spread from the fastball down the middle, registered at 85, to the slider, registered at 78, away? 12. 73 is perceived by the hitter, and 85 perceived by the hitter is now the spread at 12. Guess what? Anything more than 6, the hitter will not consistently hit it. So, sequencing of pitches. What pitch should I throw? Should you throw in patterns? No, I don't think so. You're predictable. Your next pitch is determined by the pitch you threw previously. You see how this stuff is important? One last thing about getting hitters out. The more I can get the hitter to think, advantage goes to me, the pitcher. If the hitter thinks, oh, he's got a curveball, he's got a changeup, he's got a fastball, he's got command, there's pressure, game's on the line. The more you can get a hitter to think, advantages clearly go in favor of the pitcher. Like a squirrel, you clutter the mind like a squirrel. You know, you see a squirrel in front of a road, it goes in every which way, direction, doesn't know which way to go, versus a laser-like shark. A shark knows exactly its prey, where it wants to go, and it goes and focuses and gets the prey. That's how you have to be as a pitcher. You've got to be a shark versus a scattered thinking squirrel. Okay? So that's important. So if I can get the pitcher, the hitter to think more things and become like a squirrel, and I'm the pitcher, the shark, clearly goes to my advantage. So those are some things that you need to consider. Getting back to your point about working quick in between innings. You got to work quick in between innings. 10 seconds, 11 seconds in between pitches. At the big league level, they pitch the ball, take a couple steps, catch the ball, 1, 2, they're ready to go. Amateurs, They throw the ball, they go about halfway down, get the ball, they turn around, they play with their cup, their sleeves, they do a lot of stuff, and then they get back on the mound. Well, why isn't that so good? Why would that not be good versus 10, 11 seconds? Get the ball and get going. You controlling the tempo, you dictate the tempo of the game. Why would that not be good?
Because you get into like a zen pretty much, and then the longer it takes to you to get back to like a rubber, you're like kind of like losing focus a little bit.
Okay, the response, I don't know if the camera could hear it. You're in a zone and you want to get the ball and get ready and focused in that zone. Some will say, Stephen, that I need a little bit more time. I feel uncomfortable working fast. Some will say that. They like to have their own tempo, their own. I understand. However,
The defense starts to get lazy.
the defense gets lazy. Baseball lends itself to boredom. The infielders are in there like this, outfielders are talking about what they did the night before. They're just, all of a sudden the ball cracked and they got to wake up. So the longer they sit there and do this, the worse pitchers, the defense doesn't give you the good results that you want. They don't make the spectacular plays. I know this to be a fact. I coached many, many years ago with two great kids that got drafted. One kid played for St. Mark's and one kid played for Caravel. And the one kid that played for St. Mark's worked fast in between pitches, and he always would beat us. And he threw like 86, 87. Okay, but the defense played great behind him, and he worked very quick. And I trained him, so I knew this about him. He trained very quickly. He pitched very quickly between pitches. My guy, who I tried to struggle with, a lefty, he got signed by the Orioles, higher round draft pick, 4th round by the Orioles. He threw 88, 91. But he would take so long in between pitches, and the defense, pretty good defense, didn't play spectacular behind him. It was so evident when we played each other. And that is the reason. The defense was more in focus. And so they were ready. They didn't fall asleep. So that's kind of that. Anything else about how to get hitters out before we move on? Any questions, comments by anyone? Parents, players? Make sense? Last question I ask of you. Having stated all these great things, what's the most important in your opinion? What's the most important? Okay, you say location to command. Anybody else say so?
Change the speed.
You say change of speed. Anybody else? Mitch? You say location command. Brandon? Change of speed. Now, come on now. You can be bold here, and there's 5 selections here.
Movement.
You say movement. Okay. Anybody else?
Pitch selection.
Pitch selection. Anybody else? Anybody believe velocity is? I kind of painted the picture a little bit. When I throw this out to groups, they all say velocity is most important. What do you want to improve in most? What do you want to learn? How to throw the ball harder. Come on, everybody says that. So, my question to you next is, the correct response is command, command, command. I can change speeds or pace by perception, by where I throw it. And I can throw it to hitters' weaknesses. Command is most important. Let me ask you one more question. When you're on the mound and things don't go well, what do you try and do? Fix it. Good. Yes?
Slow everything down.
Okay, you've been around a little bit. Most of the time, that's not the answer I get.
Change the tempo.
Change your tempo.
On the anchor.
Find an anchor. Oh, brother, routine, beautiful. You guys are giving me all great answers because you've done this before. When I ask this question, for those that you haven't been with me before, most people say, I want to improve velocity, I want to throw the ball harder. And when I say to them, when you get in trouble, what do you try and do? They all say, I try to throw the ball harder. I try to be like a caveman. I got to get him out. I got to throw harder. Well, if we agree that location command is the most important, why are we trying to throw the ball harder? Hello? The responses you gave me are all very good. What's your anchor? What's your focal point? What's your routine? Are you breathing? Are you changing rhythm and tempo? Are you wiping it away? Are you flushing it? Are you feeding your mind? One last thing. I have a tendency to do that, sorry. Let's say I know the hitter can't hit a curveball, but that particular day, my curveball isn't on. What should I do? Cool.
Pick a different pitch to throw.
Pick a different pitch to throw. But the hitter can't hit a curveball. I gotta throw a curveball. Anybody agree with Cole? Show of hands. Anyone disagree with Cole? Show of hands. Those of you disagree, why do you disagree?
Because you can't hit a curveball.
You can't hit a curveball, so I should throw a curveball. Throw your strengths is the advice I would give you. The hitter can't hit a curveball, but I can't throw a curveball, and I know that in my mind, so I'm not going to deliver the pitch with full confidence. And probably I'll hang the thing and probably get ripped. Instead of saying, okay, I can't throw the I know he's got a curveball, I can't hit a curveball, but my fastball feels on right now, right today. I'm going to throw my fastball and I'm going to spot that thing. Chances are you're going to have much better results throwing your strength than throwing the pitch that you're not real confident with. Does that make sense? Very, very important. Okay, this is Paul Knickerbocker signing off, the founder of Be Your Best Academy, where champions inspire to sweat, share, and smile. 302-834-4650 is my contact number. Thank you.